Victoria, would you like to explain to our viewers here just how it all works? Like, there are many people out there that are probably sitting on the fence, have heard a lot of other friends doing it, and they want to do it, but they're a little bit nervous and that. What can you share with them out there about this whole tarot and intuitive counselling?
Okay. So tarot reading is just like a toolkit for, like a plumber has a wrench in his box.
Yeah.
A tarot reading is just a tool. Same with the crystals and the stones, and they're just tools that we use to channel the energy in order to help others, right? Wow. So it's kind of, it is a bit of a gift because you've got to work at it. You have to do your discipline like any other job. But it's about helping people through different life stages, relationships, anxiety, those sorts of things. So it's counselling the way I do tarot reading. Other people do more like what you would think is past, future, kind of stuff, but mine's really more about healing and counselling.
Yeah. Why I wanted to have an interview with Victoria is today I was feeling a little bit anxious myself. And I came in here and all of a sudden I felt this welcoming and very, very peaceful sort of feeling, and I thought, oh my goodness, what's going to happen? And I liked your style because you asked about, meditation, and you explained what was going to happen. So you set that framework up, and then it allowed me to actually also calm down a little bit and go with the flow. And what you had to share with me was just phenomenal. And I guess I wanted to come to see Victoria because, like many of you that may be watching this, you may be having a business or a career change, or there's relationship problems, or you're suffering with anxiety, or things that you're stuck somewhere, and you just don't have any certainty around, your life. And for me, that was what was wanting me to come and see Victoria. And to have somebody like Victoria that can actually help me to decide which way to go in certain things in life. And Victoria, what did you actually...
Did you find it really practical?
I found it really, really practical because with Victoria, with her session, I was able to write some notes down as well, so that when I go away, I can actually look at those little notes, although we're not supposed to really focus on it, to be reminded that, hey, these are the steps I need to take. And I think that was really quite powerful to give me that. Mm-hmm. But would you like to explain exactly what you did today?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so before Nicole came, I actually did some sort of like a meditation centering for myself. So that entails I put on some nice music, I think about my next client, and I don't personally have client after client after client. I spend time focusing on the person that's coming at 12 o'clock, and in that focus I ask to be guided to give Nicole what she needs to hear today, or whoever's coming. So I was given certain pieces of information, and they resonated with Nicole when I told her that information. The other thing is that I get, we use the cards in a spread.
Do you want to show them the cards?
Yeah.
If you can show them the cards that we used today.
These cards all have different meanings, so I explained to Nicole that they have meaning, but what I do is I read into the card and certain things jump out on the card that guide me to say what I need to say. And so that's the skill, is to be you don't read the face value of the card, you read the energy of the card.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. You had a good story about that too, that the cards were a bit thick because you've been
I've been
using
them for a long time.
for a very, very long time.
So people find it, oh, how do I shuffle? Well, you shuffle as best you can with the cards that are very thick.
Yeah, and that's called the tarot reading.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So those of you that are wondering, that is a tarot reading, and I had to split them into shuffle and then split them into 3. And then obviously Victoria took it from there, and then we had a discussion around that about what's happening in my life.
Certain cards. So this card is like the Chariot, and the Chariot will indicate that there is change afoot. And so if someone was thinking about leaving school or leaving a relationship or leaving a job or moving on, that often the Chariot will pop up and you'll kind of go, so need to be black and white. So parts of the card will jump out at me and tell me to say, you've got to be a bit more black and white about that. So, so the cards are really just a tool, and then I use other things like sound, in terms of sound clearing, breath, teaching people how to breathe to focus, and also affirmations. I also use what's called a virtue card. So at the end of the reading, I kind of ask people to pick some cards, and this one here is about being flexible. So that's to remind the client when they leave that they need to focus on being a little bit more flexible about things or whatever.
So I actually had picked 3 of them and took a photo of it, so that's going to be something that I need to reflect and look at, rather than too much of what was happening within the finer details. So that's going to be my focus about those affirmation cards, and then I think you did something else, wasn't it? Oh, with the rocks, I think.
Yeah, the energy, and I mean, I also use my pendulum. So if someone's wanting to know a specific question like, am I pregnant? You would use the pendulum to guide.
Yeah.
So if you've got specific, so people come to heal past, like in terms of if they have enduring grief or something.
Yep.
People come for simple questions around, should I get a new job or not, or should I have a baby now or not? Some really basic questions. And then other people have really more I'm changing the way I view the world, so different levels, people come for different reasons.
Well, and Victoria, for those of you who don't know, it's Victoria Kearney, Kearney, and Victoria is based in?
Sandringham, so I'm on the bay. I'm currently reading in Hampton. You can find me on Facebook under Bayside Tarot. Or you can search on my name, Dr. Kearney. So
I was just about to say that you're a doctor.
So PhD doctor, not
congratulations.
Doctor.
So you've actually got a lot of skills as well, which you join together with this, with counselling, and you said a few other things as well, which you have got.
Like life stage development, and the reason that I do this work is because I'm a very spiritual person, and often when the world, look at it from a very global picture, when we feel overwhelmed with what's happening in the world, I think that change begins with the person. And if we can change the way we view conflict, view the way we interact with others, so I do individual and big picture stuff.
I guess that we're not all immune to life. That's life. And sometimes we need that guidance. And there's a lot of myth out there. There's lots of perception about this sort of industry. And I think that it's important that you out there that are watching it, it's not witchcraft and that. It's not what you're thinking. It's actually totally very different. And you respect that, don't you? You respect...
it's like I see myself as a healer, and in terms of, it's not about religion, it is about how we values and how we see the world.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you've been gifted with this sort of intuitive thing since you were a young girl, you said. So you've been nurturing that for many, many years. You must have seen a lot of people in your journey or through the sessions. And have they come back to you and said, wow, this is, you know...
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I've had clients that have been coming to me for 2 years, and people that come back, like... A lot of tarot readers kind of want people to come back regularly, where I actually like the fact that they don't come back regularly, because what they're doing is that the work that I'm doing with them helps, and so I get a steady stream of people. In terms of, I have been doing thing for a long time, and it started out of my own journey. So. Yeah. When I was a kid, I was seen as different in my family, and my brothers and sisters used to give me a hard time. But then I realised that I was able to help people. I've been a lifeline counsellor. I've helped people with mental health problems, drug and alcohol addiction. Yeah, so I have seen a range of people.
Yeah. I think that's really, really important, because very different and unique, because you didn't just allow me to walk out. I had a reading and walk out. You actually gave me some strategies and some tips, and you gave me some resources to go and find more information about certain things. Like I said, I think you mentioned about money and business. So Victoria's very special in that she didn't allow me just to walk out. Yes, I have some homework to do, and that's something that I really, really do want to thank you for giving that to me and sharing that. That if you're feeling in any way watching this and you're feeling like, hey, I'm stuck somewhere, like I said, please do come and see Victoria. Victoria has a wealth of knowledge. She's quite a busy lady. So I think that what's the future going to be looking like for you now, Victoria, in this industry? Is it growing actually?
Yeah, it is growing, and it's growing not because there's more tarot readers and more psychics out there. It's growing because the world's changing, and people are looking for religion, or traditional religion has lost for various reasons. Things have happened in various churches, and people are walking away from organised religion, but they're still needing a kind of a spiritual perspective on their life. And I grew up as a Catholic, so I have I understand the Holy Spirit, and I use the Holy Spirit in my work. So basically that's who guides me. Other people talk about angels, same thing. Yeah. And I think we're all seeking to have peace, and we want communities that feel connected, and that's where I'm working.
Excellent. Yeah. So, the world is changing, and we can see a lot of women out there taking up leadership roles and getting into more business, having own businesses and that. And I guess it's very difficult, challenging life and business. But the world is changing, isn't it, Victoria? And more women, not just in Australia, but also globally, are starting to really take up these leadership roles. On a whole, you hear about the stars and the moon and the alignment and the new moon. What that's we sort of see all of that. Yeah. But you belonging in this particular industry, do you all get together and talk about things that are happening?
Yeah, and I mean, I use what I've learned and what I've taught. I've done a lot of learning and things over the years. And yesterday I had a conversation in my other life, in working in government, around the values that we use in organisations to guide our decision making. So it is about leadership, it is about entrepreneurship, and there are more women who are stepping up. We need women leaders who who come from their heart centre in terms of the way they do their business differently. And I think everybody's applauding Jacinta Ardern, and because she's able to bring people together in a more kind of a respectful way. And so it is time for women to step up as leaders, and I think that we need to do things with love, not with ego so much.
Yes, and that was one thing that was coming through for me, love. And with love is powerful. And with love we can do so much. It can actually make
Change
the
things.
impossible possible. And so Victoria...
And I just wanted to say, understanding, where people are at, and I think that we can all throw our hands up in the air and go, oh God, this is not good. But if you work out what people really want out of their lives, then you can work with that.
Yeah.
And, if people are in marriage breakups, but they actually don't want to break up, or people want their children to be healthy, then you work with where people are at.
Yeah, and I think for me that I really did enjoy it today.
Oh, okay.
And
Not too
I
scary.
no, it wasn't scary at all. Some people say, oh, I can't believe you're doing that, blah, blah, blah. But no, I'm very adventurous. I'm a child at heart still, and I'm always very curious about things in life. And this is something that I really felt like I wanted to come, and I wanted to share what you do with people out there. It's not hokey pokey stuff. It's nothing like it. It was really clear. It was a lot of clarity. I feel very centered and aligned. And excited about my journey as well, and where I'm going to be. I'm going to be growing a lot. Thanks to Victoria for sharing that. There were some weaknesses, there were some strengths, and I've just got to balance that. And that was something that I felt, hang on a minute, we really need to share this out with people, because people do need to give it a go. Give it a go. Come and see Victoria. Victoria, can you please tell them how they can contact you? Is it through Facebook?
I think the best way to contact me is if you go to Bayside Tarot Facebook, and my phone number is there, so you just ring or text me and make an appointment. And
is it generally on the weekends, or
no, mainly, like, I can do evenings, but I don't like to go past about 7:38.
Oh, great.
Because I have a full-time day job. But on Saturdays, Sundays, I'm quite flexible around appointments. And
excellent.
so I usually do 1 hour or 30 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah. So depending on your financial situation, 30 minutes is always a good taster. And then if you feel the need, then you can come back for a longer reading. For a longer reading.
And the support, after the support, can you ring up and say, oh, I'm feeling dipped? Actually, I'm going to ask you this very important question. When people do leave, do they feel very shaky and all that?
I try to, when people leave, to make ensure that they feel safe and comfortable. And if I'm sure that Nicole's going to be fine, but there are clients that are very vulnerable, and I will always ring and check that the next day how are you. So so if I recognise that you need that extra little bit of support, I'll definitely be there. And I am available if people want to follow up, but some people tend to, if they're going through a significant thing, they might come for 3. It's a bit like if you've got a sore back. You might go to the physiotherapist for 3 visits, and then I might not see you for 6 months. So it's the same with this, is that if you're going through some stuff, then you might have a few quick ones together, and then you go off. So
you actually do tailor it around that person.
Yep.
There's no one blanket cover thing like most. Some of them I have been before. It seems to be like one fits all, but you are very different in that way, that you address each person differently. The needs are different, and of course then the follow-up is different. So once again, I do want to thank you for being on the show today, and give us a hug. Thank you so much.
No worries.
Okay.
Nice to meet you.
Bye.